One guy in a small Ohio town owns the only dryer vent cleaning van for 40 miles, and he clears close to $200,000 a year doing it. There are 11 other businesses just like this one hiding in plain sight in your own town, and almost nobody is competing for any of them. I'm Chris, and this is Boring Money with Chris, where we dig up the dullest businesses in town that quietly print cash. Today we're counting down 12 local trades so unglamorous that competitors never show up, and owners can pull in six figures with almost nobody fighting them for it. Number 12, dryer vent cleaning. Every house with a dryer builds up lint in the vent line, and once a year or so that lint becomes a real fire risk. Nobody wants to climb into a crawl space or onto a roof to deal with it, so most homeowners just wait until the dryer stops working and call whoever shows up first. Startup cost is refreshingly small, often under $5,000 for a used van, a rotary brush kit, and a small inspection camera. A single operator can knock out 6 to 10 jobs a day at $80 to $150 each. The real edge now is AI scheduling software that routes appointments by neighborhood, so a solo owner drives half the miles competitors used to. One Ohio operator we came across runs the only dedicated vent service in his county and reports gross revenue near $200,000 a year, mostly from repeat customers and property managers who never think to shop around. Number 11, laundromats. They look old-fashioned, but a well-placed laundromat in a town with a lot of renters is close to a legal monopoly on clean clothes. Buying an existing location with machines already installed typically runs $150,000 to $400,000, which sounds steep until you realize the machines run themselves. Most owners visit a few times a week to empty coin boxes and fix the occasional jammed dryer. Margins land around 20 to 30% once rent and utilities are covered. The unfair edge today is smart machines with app payments and usage sensors, so an owner can see exactly which machines are idle and which need repair before a customer ever complains. In towns with only one laundromat within 10 miles, owners describe a steady stream of income that barely dips even when the local economy slows down, because people still need clean clothes no matter what. Number 10, street sweeping contracts. Cities and shopping centers need their pavements swept on a schedule, and most towns only have room for one or two contractors who own the specialized trucks. That truck is the barrier to entry, often costing $80,000 to $200,000 used, which quietly keeps new competitors out. Once you're in, contracts tend to renew year after year without much of a bidding war, because switching sweepers is a hassle nobody wants. Revenue depends on contract size, but owners with 2 or 3 trucks and a handful of the city body or mall contracts often report $400,000 to over $1 million a year in revenue. AI routing now maps the most efficient sweep pattern, block by block, cutting fuel costs and letting one driver cover more ground per shift. It is loud, dusty work, but it is also one of those jobs where the client almost never leaves once you've got the contract. Number 9, Locksmith Services. Every town needs someone who can get people back into their house or car at 2 in the morning, and in smaller towns there is often exactly one trusted name people call. Startup costs are low, usually $5,000 to $15,000 for tools, a key cutting machine, and a mobile van setup. Jobs range from $40 for a simple lockout to several hundred for rekeying a whole building. What keeps competition thin is trust. People do not want a stranger with lock-picking tools. They want the guy their neighbor already used. AI-assisted key cutting and smart lock programming have widened the service menu, letting one locksmith also handle keyless entry systems and smart lock installs, which pay more per visit. Solo locksmiths in smaller markets often report $60,000 to $120,000 a year, with almost no marketing spend beyond word of mouth and a listing that shows up first when someone searches at midnight. Number 8, erosion control blankets. Construction sites and highway projects are legally required to control soil erosion, and that means laying down straw or coconut fiber blankets on slopes before inspectors sign off. It is unglamorous physical work which keeps most contractors away, but the demand never stops because building codes require it. Startup costs run $15,000 to $50,000 for a truck, spreader equipment, and initial blanket inventory. Contracts are often bid at 10 cents to 30 cents per square foot, and a single large highway project can mean tens of thousands of square feet in a matter of weeks. AI-assisted site mapping using drone footage now lets a small crew calculate exact material needs before ever setting foot on the slope, cutting waste and win margins on bids. Owners in this niche describe long stretches of steady municipal and state contract work, because once you're on the approved vendor list, new competitors face a wall of paperwork just to bid. Number 7. Windshield chip repair. A cracked windshield is annoying but not urgent, so most people ignore it until a mobile repair van shows up at their office parking lot and fixes the chip in 20 minutes for $60 to $100. Startup cost is one of the smallest on this list, often under $3,000 for a resin injection kit and a decent set of tools. The margin per job is enormous because the materials cost just a few dollars. The quiet monopoly here comes from insurance partnerships. Many insurers waive the deductible for chip repair because it's cheaper than a full windshield replacement. And once a technician is on an approved vendor list, referrals flow in automatically. AI-powered damage assessment apps now let a technician photograph a chip and get an instant repair versus replace recommendation, speeding up each job. A single mobile operator working steadily can clear $50,000 to $80,000 a year working out of a small hatchback. No shop rent required. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you saw someone actually competing for space next to the airport baggage claim? Number 6. Vending massage chairs. These coin and card-operated chairs sit quietly in airports, malls, and grocery store entrances. And the real business is not the massage. It's the real estate deal behind it. Placing even 5 to 10 chairs in high-foot traffic spots can cost $15,000 to $30,000, including the revenue share agreements with property owners. But once placed, a chair needs almost no daily attention beyond a wipe down and a coin collection. Owners report each chair earning $200 to $600 a month, depending on foot traffic, and a route of a dozen chairs can produce solid passive income with just a few hours of upkeep a week. AI usage tracking now flags underperforming locations automatically, so owners relocate chairs before they become dead weight. The competition is thin simply because most people never think to ask a mall for a massage chair contract. Number 5. Culvert cleaning. Every road with a drainage pipe underneath it eventually clogs with silt, leaves, and debris, and when it does, roads flood and towns panic. Very few contractors own the specialized vacuum trucks and camera crawlers needed to clear a culvert properly, which means the few who do often hold entire county contracts by default. Equipment costs are steep, $60,000 to $150,000 for a used vacuum truck and inspection camera, but county and municipal contracts pay well and renew automatically most years. A single truck crew can bill several $1,000s per job, and busy seasons after storms can mean back-to-back contracts for weeks. AI-guided camera crawlers now map pipe conditions in real time, letting a 2-person crew document damage instantly for the county without a second visit. It's muddy, unglamorous work, but towns cannot function without it, and that's exactly why the phone rings the moment the rain stops. Number 4. Well drilling and pump service. In rural areas without city water, a working well is not optional. And when a pump fails, the household has no water at all until someone fixes it. That urgency, combined with the enormous cost of drilling equipment, keeps this field limited to just a handful of operators per region. A drilling rig alone can cost $200,000 or more, which is why most towns have only 1 or 2 established well companies going back generations. Drilling a new well often runs $5,000 to $15,000 per household. An emergency pump repairs bill out at premium rates because there is no such thing as a well emergency that waits. AI-assisted groundwater mapping now helps operators predict the best drilling depth and avoid dry holes, saving days of wasted rig time per job. Multi-rig operators in rural counties often report 7 figures a year in revenue, quietly, because nobody else wants to buy a $200,000 drilling rig to compete with them. Number 3. Small engine repair. Every town is full of lawnmowers, generators, chainsaws, and snowblowers that break down every single season, and almost nobody under 50 wants to learn how to fix a carburetor anymore. That generational gap has quietly created a shortage of small engine mechanics, and the ones still working often have months-long waiting lists in busy seasons. Startup costs are modest, $5,000 to $20,000 for a workshop's worth of tools and diagnostic equipment. Repairs typically run $60 to $200 per machine, and a steady shop can service 10 to 20 machines a week during peak lawn and snow seasons. AI diagnostic apps now let technicians identify a failing part from a short videos of the engine running, cutting diagnosis time dramatically. One shop owner in a small Midwest town told us he turns away work every spring because he is the only technician left within 30 miles. And honestly, that sounds like a nice problem to have. Number 2, mobile mechanic services. Traditional repair shops are stuck in one location, but a mobile mechanic drives straight to the customer's driveway with a fully stocked van, and in smaller towns, there is often only one mechanic offering that convenience. Startup costs run $20,000 to $50,000 for a properly equipped van, tools, and diagnostic scanners. Higher than a home garage, but far less than opening a shop with lift bays and overhead. Because there's no building rent, mobile mechanics can charge slightly less than shops while still keeping margins around 40 to 50%. AI diagnostic scanners now plug straight into a car's computer and flag the likely failing part before the mechanic even opens the hood, cutting labor time significantly. Repeat customers build fast because once someone finds a reliable mechanic who comes to them, they stop shopping around entirely. Owners running a single van full-time often report $80,000 to $130,000 a year, with almost no advertising beyond a handful of 5-star reviews. And number 1, the one nobody sees coming: foundation crack repair. A cracked foundation is one of those problems homeowners cannot ignore forever because it threatens the entire structure of the house, and yet very few contractors specialize deeply enough in it to be trusted with the job. That specialization is the moat. Startup costs run $30,000 to $70,000 for injection equipment, hydraulic piers, and a properly outfitted van, which is enough to keep casual handymen out entirely. Jobs range from $500 for a simple epoxy injection to over $10,000 for major structural stabilization. AI-assisted crack analysis apps now let a technician photograph a crack and estimate its growth pattern over time, helping homeowners understand urgency without guesswork, which builds trust fast. Established foundation repair specialists in mid-sized markets often report revenues well past $300,000 a year, some pushing toward 7 figures with a small crew. It never runs out of customers because houses never stop settling, and that, quietly, is the whole business model. So there's the pattern behind all the 12. The boredom, the mess, the upfront equipment cost. That's not the downside, that's the moat keeping competitors away. AI just sharpens the edge for whoever's already willing to do the unglamorous work. None of this is a promise, and every one of these has real risk and real elbow grease behind it. So do your own research and talk to a professional before betting real money on any of it. Which one of these surprised you most? Tell me in the comments, and if you want more of these quiet moneymakers, stick around and subscribe.